Well, first of all, congratulations, you two.
Thank you.
You're now out of your cocoon. You're out of hiding. How does it
Yes.
feel that you two have found each other?
Oh my God. Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It
feels
is.
so
No
great.
longer having to keep a secret.
Exactly.
You know, you're not all
Yeah.
bottled up all the time.
Yeah.
It was a long journey to get here.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
really
Yeah.
long.
No, it was really long.
Right?
Yes.
Teresa, I love you 1,000%. I'm never going to stop believing that every day I choose you.
Oh my God.
Will you marry me?
What do you hope people take away from your story and also the success of The Golden Bachelor?
Well, absolutely that there's hope at every single age to find that person that you love.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they don't think they have to sit home, do nothing, just spend the rest of their lives gardening or knitting. Get out there and open your heart and be vulnerable and, you know, make eye contact with people. And
That's something
start
I'm
doing
working
it.
on.
Yeah, you gotta work on. That's really hard.
It
That
is
is
hard.
so hard.
You
But
guys
that's
locked
what
eyes
need to do.
on day one,
yeah,
though.
we kept
we
doing
kinda
that.
did.
We
You
kept
really
doing
did.
that.
Yeah.
In fact, Gerry, you know,
Yeah.
obviously we saw you struggle with falling in love with multiple women, and I know at times it felt like an impossible decision, but at what point did you realize, like, Theresa is the one? I can't live without.
There was a moment. There was a clearly defined moment when it happened.
Okay.
We were in the fantasy suites, behind closed doors, no witnesses to what we were talking about. And it built from the dinner we had had before the fantasy suites, and the conversation became more revealing and more revealing.
Right.
And I had some question marks. And before I even asked them, she addressed every single one of them. And the
Yeah.
excitement just built. And it was like,
Yeah.
I remember.
It just solidified that bond,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think I had struggled the entire season with being myself in front of the camera. Yeah, so I was censoring myself a lot because there's so many men in my life, 6 grandsons, a brother, a son, a son-in-law. So I was just thinking, oh, I can't say certain things.
Sure.
So I kind of just held back, and it wasn't until that date
When
where
the
I said-
cameras were gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, actually, just before that date before the cameras were gone, I said, Theresa, just be yourself.
Right.
Just stop doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
so,
sure he made
yeah, and
that
then-
easier for you,
Right,
right?
and then I really jumped at the chance to go in the fantasy suite and continue that conversation.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I know it was an emotional reunion with Leslie.
In my own imperfect way, I couldn't find another way of doing it more graciously. And I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
Well, I don't know if I accept your apology, but I understand it.
Thank you for that.
What was it like hearing her say that she didn't accept your apology, but that she understands you?
Oh, and I fully understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, she was hurt. I was hurt. I had no expectations of what I wanted from Leslie, except that I wanted her to feel better at the end of the conversation than at the beginning. I mean, there's a need for closure. There's a need for clarity within that conversation.
Right.
So I fully understand where she's at.
You know, you mentioned, Theresa, the cameras. It's a different experience, right? All of a
Yeah.
sudden you're in a different
Yeah.
world, and then there's watching it back, right? You're watching him date other women. There, of course, was a little drama with Kathy. What was it like for you watching all of that back?
Okay, so I watched it with my family.
You did?
Yeah, I watched it with my daughter, her husband, my 3 grandsons. First of all, you never know what you're going to see. You know what you experience, but you don't know what you're going to see. And I was kind of horrified by what I looked like many times.
please.
I was taken aback, but you know, we had spoken, you know, so in depth about what the entire experience was. So I was prepared. But then there's nothing like actually seeing it on TV. So, you know, some of it was shocking. I would say that the most difficult thing was for me to see Faith cry.
Sure.
I bawled my eyes out
Right.
that night. It was very, very
Did you see
hard.
Faith posted to congratulate you two with the
Oh,
photo?
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
class
no,
act.
she's wonderful.
She
We
is.
love Faith.
I
we
mean,
absolutely
we've
love
both
her.
been in
Yeah.
contact with
I
her,
love
Yes,
that.
texting.
I
and
talk to Faith all the time. Yeah, Faith
on.
and Leslie were actually my best friends. in the
Really?
house. Yeah. What are the chances? But I loved all the women. They
Of
were
course.
spectacular.
Well, now we have a golden wedding to plan, which
Yes.
is very excited.
Yeah.
You know, how excited are you guys to walk down that aisle?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Beyond.
thrilled.
Over the moon.
Yeah?
It's insane. Yeah.
When you get to this age,
Yeah.
it's like every moment is
Yeah.
precious,
Sure.
and you don't want to waste them.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like now we've got a date out there that we can look forward to, rather than every day that we had to keep a secret.
Sure.
So it's a total different
Yeah, and
mindset.
Yeah. and we have to invite people now because they didn't know.
So you a big
they
one.
did not know.
Yeah. Do you ever imagine that you'd be doing this again, getting married?
I was
my
always
gosh.
open to the idea.
Yeah.
When
Sure.
I started the journey in the show, my goal was to be in this position.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It worked.
Because now that you're
Yeah.
sitting here, right?
Success.
It's like
Yes,
it's
with the
worth
right
it.
person, not just a person,
Yeah.
the right person.
Yeah. And I'm the same. I was open to the experience and the opportunity to be married again.
Right.
But who would have thought? This is amazing. Like, this is incredible.
She makes
Yeah.
me a better person.
Stop! I'm like melting over here. You know, I really am. And Theresa, I know I could see why you fell in love with Gerry because I was just telling you, Gerry.
Yeah.
When I met you day one, I
Yeah.
told the crew I like this guy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like from day
Yeah, that's
one.
what I said.
From day one,
this
I
guy.
could tell why you were chosen as our Golden Bachelor.
Yeah,
But
easy.
of course, with this experience, all of a sudden your life is under a microscope. How do you manage and deal with people kind of dissecting your life, even things from your past?
You know what? I don't give it a whole lot of thought.
You
I gotta
don't?
be honest. I just don't give it a life.
Yeah.
I have so many positives in my life right now. Right at this very moment, look what I have
Yes.
that is an equal partner to me. And to get bogged down in past, I just can't go there. I don't
Right.
want to.
Did you anticipate that happening?
You know, I kind of did a little bit. You know,
Okay.
everybody is under a microscope at a certain point. And early on, people were saying, oh, look, he's drinking orange juice. He's a recovered
Yes,
alcoholic.
right. Yeah.
And, oh,
Yeah.
they've subjected him to
Yes.
spray tan. I knew there was going to be stuff. I was almost entertained by those
Okay.
things. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
they made the Golden Bachelor golden, it sounds like then, huh?
Yeah.
You guys are both very established. I mean, Gerry, you're in Indiana, right? And Theresa, you're in Jersey.
I am.
So
Yeah.
where do we plan to live, folks?
You
Yeah.
take this
Okay,
one.
I'll take this
What's
one.
next?
Okay, so I don't know if he remembers, but on the first date, he spoke to me about possibly moving to the Charleston area, and I said, well, wow, I have a son who lives in South Carolina. I said, that would work. But it wasn't until the fantasy suite that the conversation came back to that, and he realized. And so South Carolina is probably where we're going.
Okay. I can tell you guys have talked about
Yes.
this,
Oh,
obviously,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a plan. Well,
Yeah.
that's very exciting. I'm just so excited that I got to be a very, very small part of your journey, and I'm just so thrilled for
Aw,
both of
thanks.
you. So
Thank you so much.
congratulations.
Small, but
Yay.
very important.
Yes.